Hey, what's up, guys? It's John Dominique, the Soul Proponent. Today, I just kind of want to talk a little bit about my experience and where I'm at in my life as far as spiritual awakening and God and the path to the soul. And I've been noticing that my life isn't the same as like the cultural norm. I almost in a way given up all my ambitions and my desires to live according to the mainstream, according to what society says is good to go after, the American dream, having a family, business. I do work a regular job, and that's important because I like to be self-sufficient and independent and have some type of money and income to be able to support myself and not have to depend on anyone or anything. But I don't really have very many goals at all, to be honest with you. Maybe a house would be good, but it's not something that I'm not very attached, or I'm not very invested in any single thing in my life, my life going in any direction. And it's kind of like on a path to the soul. When you walk that path, it's single-minded devotion, and there's nothing else that really matters. Everything else falls to the wayside. We become oblivious to lesser goals. And walking the path, it seems sad. A lot of people, and it is a lot of times it is very lonely, and people kind of look at me and they're like, well, he doesn't seem to be enjoying his life like in their opinion and in the ways that other people enjoy their lives. It's not that I don't partake in family activities, and it's not like I'm a total loner and a hermit that doesn't live a normal life. It seems like the normal life still goes on in conjunction right beside the spiritual world and the spiritual life. It doesn't seem to really stop anything. It just means that my priorities have shifted, and it kind of makes things a little different. Like I said, I don't have any goals really. I have some plans. I do want to get out of debt and things like that, but once the smoke clears and once I focus myself, I understand and I see that all these extraneous things in my life don't really matter too much, to be honest with you. What happens, I'm not too interested in things going a certain way and trying to reach an ideal and trying to live according to what society says is a good way to live. So it's almost like my life is more in control from a higher power. It's not in my control it's not my life, basically, is kind of like what I want to say. The path to the soul just makes my life peaceful. It makes it calm. It makes it like I'm in another world almost, because the spiritual dimension is very different from the material world and the physical world and the physical dimension, and most people are focused on that physical material dimension. And they might dedicate a very small part of their lives to the spiritual world, maybe 10%, maybe on Sundays they'll do something. But I'm gonna have things, I put all my eggs in one basket basically, and have it totally upside down and up and reversed. So I invest everything, all my eggs in one basket, in the spiritual side. Like, that's my angle, that's my dimension. So I invest like 90% of everything into my spiritual work, and I'm passionate about this, and it's taken me a long way, and the growth never ends. It continues, and I don't really know where it's going to take me, but I'm satisfied with my life. It seems like I don't really need to accomplish much, to be honest with you. I feel already fulfilled. Like, the value that a lot of people are trying to find by having a rewarding career and a job and a family and making money is already accomplished. So it doesn't, what happens is, I think a lot of people tend to overcompensate for not being able to feel any value in their lives, any self-worth. So that's why people have such a huge drive. People need to accomplish much to try to cover up their deficiencies and their feelings of lack and their feelings of lack of self-worth. And I was like that for a long time too. So I'm not here to judge anybody about that. That's normal. That's how most people live their lives. But I'm grateful that I've found some type of path. There's something bigger, something larger than that in my life, and I have something to live for. It feels really good. I'm happy that I wouldn't change a thing. I prefer this type of lifestyle. It's not for everybody. It's really difficult and very lonely. And I know in my heart now, the way things are is exactly the way things are supposed to be. You know, I've had some experiences in my life where I wish things would have been better, but it should have changed. But the outcome I wish had been different. But I realized it's not my life, and exactly the way things are right now is exactly the way things should be. And without trying to change it, and without, I have to try to fully accept what I've been through and accept what's there, even if I don't like it. And there's a lot, trust me, there's a lot of things that I don't like about myself that I see on this path. When you walk that path, there's a lot of, it goes through a lot of emptiness, a lot of deficiencies, a lot of awkwardness, a lot of feelings of shame and guilt. But that's all part of it. Like, we have to almost feel all of that in its entirety and go deeply into that. So the path is to not go into deeper into it, but to allow those feelings and feel them in their entirety all the time. It's not like I'll just do this once or twice. Some people get the wrong idea. I'm going to walk the path for a couple of years, get my spiritual awakening, and then I can go off and live and go splurge. That's not it. I'm continuing to walk this path consistently. I'm not going to let go. This is my bread and butter. This is my life. This is what I'm here to do. This is my calling. This is my purpose. And I'm here to share this with people. I know there's people out there that need to hear this kind of thing. It's not meant to just, be like an ostrich and put my head in the sand and not say anything about it. It's too important for me to just sit by and not spread this information. Look, I know my channel, I've been doing this YouTube channel for like a good 10 years or whatever, and I barely have any subscribers, maybe 20 people, a handful of people. And if I'm going to be unpopular and not a lot of people are going to hear my message, and that's the way it's going to be. That's the way it is. Because I guess this is not very important for people. Some people, you have to get to hit the rock bottom so hard that they'd rather almost be dead. And that's where I had to be able to get to this point. So I know it's not a good look to be in that type of place. It's not a good place for people to be. But I know this message is here for a reason. I have a calling. Somebody's told me to get up and speak and say this to people, because I know there's a market for it, however small it is. I know this is going to benefit somebody somewhere, and if not now, maybe later in the future. So, I'm just here to try to give some ideas and spread some information, spread the love and spread the joy. Now, I want people to take my message to heart and check for themselves if what I'm saying has any validity in their own experience, because that's what it's about. It's not about just in theory. Like, you have to go and check it out for yourself and to actually live this experience and to actually take it all the way and to drop all the ambitions, all the ideas and ideals of a utopia when things would be perfect in the future. All that has to go. Like, all the attachments, all the wantings, all of that. And it's very difficult to do. So there's a price to pay. It's very risky. But I know if people have the right information beforehand, before they walk the path, they'll know beforehand what to expect. And I'm sure that'll make it easier for them. I had to do it the hard way. Nobody told me what was going to happen. Like, when I walked this path, it was so scary. I didn't know what was happening. I couldn't get any answers from anybody. I had to find out for myself, and it was very difficult. I don't want people to have to suffer as badly as I did, because I know not everybody will make it. Like, a lot of people react differently. Like, can understand why, you've got all these suicide bombings and people killing their families and killing themselves, and I can understand why that happens, because this path really makes you go crazy. But it's worth it in the end. If that having to go crazy and continue to go crazy is what has to happen, then I'm all in. I'm putting all my eggs in that basket. It's definitely worth the cost. In my experience, you have to try for yourself and see. You might have a different experience. I don't know. You might have a different outcome. You might be able to get a family. Who knows? You might get rich or famous. Maybe. Everybody has their own, their own life, and the outcome of their life is not up to me. It's up to something higher and bigger, and I don't have any say. I don't know what should happen in anybody else's life. All I know is what's happening in my life, and that's what I'm sharing here today. I hope this is helpful to someone to kind of get an insight to see just an example of what could happen, what might happen on this path to the soul. John Dominique, the Soul Proponent.